o'clock, call the October Rochester School Board Personnel Committee meeting to order. First order of business is Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, item 2 on the agenda is the approval of the September 7th Personnel Committee minutes.
So moved.
Motion's been made. Any amendments, deletions? Go ahead.
Yes, I was the person who seconded the motion to adjourn, not Mr. Bolia.
Okay.
That's went away.
He's always trying to steal my thunder.
Any other amendments to be made? Okay. So, all those in favor of accepting last September's minutes as amended? Aye. Any opposed? Passes, thank you. Item 3, we have a couple of resignations. First is Jess Odette, paraeducator, and Tyler Zimmer, paraeducator.
So moved.
Moved, anyone second?
Second.
Moved and seconded, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. And just as a side note, everyone has the paper copy of the agenda we're working on, correct? Okay. Item 4, nominations. We have Lana Berashiva, paraeducator, sorry. Jonathan Doobie, social worker. Kaylee Killingsworth, social studies teacher. Nicole Maglio Provost, the paraeducator. Joshua Olszewski, paraeducator. Veronica Silver is a paraeducator. And Ian Rooney, a CIC technician. And Russell Shaw, part-time custodian.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Just for clarity, can we just cover that we did have Kaylee Killingsworth? Is this the same as last month's?
Yes.
Okay. But she's now going to be a full teacher. I think last month she was a year. Okay. Any discussion? Nope. Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Ayes carried. Item 5, co-curricular, extracurricular nominations. We have Melissa Arsenal, Chamberlain Yearbook Advisor. Damian Bernardini, ERS Drama Club. Jenna Bunicki, Chamberlain Drama. Margaret De Taso, Middle School Student Council. Casey Doobie, JV Head Cheering Coach. Marsh Leslie, School Street Yearbook. Dan Melendez, Football Varsity Assistant Coach. Stephanie Nesbitt, Head Volleyball Coach. Daniel Saucier, ERS Drama. Daniel Saucier for ERS Yearbook. And Brad Taylor as the Head Baseball Coach.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Is there any dollar amount that goes with those, or no contracts? Excellent. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The ayes have it. Item 6, 5-year plan. So last week, I think it was, last month, we had a 5-year committee meeting, and Mr. Rapucci shared what's going around. Everyone should have a copy of the positions, the 5-year strategic plan, personnel request by department. So I'll just turn it over to him and let him kind of cover that.
So each of the departments, I met with department heads and had meetings to talk about needs for the 5-year strategic plan for key personnel. What I tried to do is give you salary amounts that would need to be added to the budget. And if you see positions that are on there, so for instance, when you're looking at special education, you see That's basically the formation of a new system, right? So the only new position, right, would be the $116,000 position of a co-director of special education. So the other positions currently exist right now, but we'd be reorging and renaming certain positions. So it's just, if you remember last year, Ms. Reinhardt came forward and we had two IP facilitators. One was an operational budget position that we renamed. The other one was a grant funded position. And so basically, this is taking that grant position that's working very well and moving it to the operational budget, as a proposal, obviously. Then you see CIC, they're requesting a secretary and academic program coordinator positions, a painter for facilities. The high school is asking for another assistant principal and a reading specialist. The middle school, this is a much larger topic, but we've been talking about pathways for our students, K-12, but really they'll exit and choose a career pathway as they leave the high school, but we're looking at potentially revamping the middle school unified arts program to support that. So there's no dollar amount there. That would be probably lots of discussion that would happen at instruction, and then instruction would make a recommendation to finance, and then go from there. So that will probably be forthcoming instruction meetings. The first program that Ms. Halligan Foley and Mr. Gilpatrick are toying with is opening up a mill workshop with the middle school. They could use some current existing equipment that we have. As she rolls the grant and she replaces things, she could move things around. So that would probably be the future proposal. The magnet school has a half-time guidance counselor. The request is to move that to a full-time position. And then, as you can see, the elementary and district, we're saying psychologists and board-certified behavior analysis are needed. But currently, anyone that has one of those certifications would come into our district on a teacher scale. So we don't require those people. So one of two things could happen. We could go down the rabbit hole of renegotiating and trying to get them out of the teacher's agreement, or you could increase contracted services, because that's what we have to do right now to secure those. So if we feel like we couldn't get them as district employees, we still need them, so we may want to increase the contracted services line.
Mrs. Gaines?
Thank you. I've lost track here. Guidance assistant principal at the high school.
So that's just a request that the high school had. Again, these positions aren't like, we want them next year, we have to have them. This is every department, so principals, I met with them all. This is a request to kind of throw against the wall for you folks, you know what I mean, to
So
talk.
do we have 4 over there, or are they called different names than?
So there's a principal, a deputy principal, and then there's 2 assistant principals.
So there's already 4 over there,
Yes.
positions.
And these are in no like specific order either. This is just
Right,
by the, I met first with special ed, I met with CIC, so I just kept a running list.
okay, thank you.
Kyle, can you explain a little more about the academic program coordinator for CIC? Would they be in charge of subscriptions for all schools in the district?
Yeah, so right now, you think about coming out of COVID, and during COVID we had, we really became one-to-one, and we started to really leverage digital content far more than we ever had. So you've seen some infrastructure requirements that we've had to boost, right? The firewall, our wireless access points, additional Chromebooks and those things. But now it's the increased man hours to make sure that the programs are ready for our kids and our teachers. So having someone specifically responsible for rosters, updates, glitches, special requirements for testing. So that was their request.
So I guess, anyone else? My question is, though there is no specific priority yet with this layout here, where, and we're not necessarily saying they need to be in next year's budget, where in the 5 years, or because it's 5-year planning, how do we, I guess the next step would be working towards implementing them into the budget as far as a priority scale.
the committee could consider talking about it next month and trying to rank order these and ask for recommendations.
Right. So, again, for discussion, you know, I don't know if we want to start at this point. You know, it is October. We could start maybe in November with some thought of starting to prioritize the positions and start working towards a priority list of positions to look for the next 2, 3, 4 years out in the budgets, knowing that there's a rough dollar amount associated with the positions that are being requested. And if we need any feedback, we can start getting feedback as far as, you know, justifications for them from the department heads. Go ahead.
Yeah, just to make note though, as was mentioned last time about the cost of our school and the bonding, at that point we'll have better financial projections, and you'll be able to, come and speak to that and say, hey, this is where we can comfortably add X number of dollars, and that could be part of your priorities.
Right, and 100%, and that's why we're not gonna sit here and try and justify things tonight.
And justification happens at budget.
So these are, you know, superintendent was directed to go to the department heads and develop a wish list, if you will, or where do we see us heading, excuse me, for positions needed. My only other question is, knowing that we are in the process of designing, is a new school in the staffing as far as requirements and needs, is that part of this? Or should that be part of this?
No, I mean, if you think about the new school, it's gonna still service the number of children. It's not like we're adding a new village in the city of Rochester, and that's why we need our teachers plus new teachers. We're really gonna be saying, and I would probably make the guess that next year at this time, what I would be recommending to personnel is that at this time, you're advertising for a principal. So the principal gets hired a year before the school opens. They're then set up to start advertising for positions and doing things, the interview process, or setting up an internal team here. So, you know, it's some futures planning, but really it probably come from stock that we already have.
Okay, and just as a general overview. And then, so any other questions pertaining to personnel requests that we have here? Mrs. Henry?
Just as we're going to be moving into the next budget season, can we have a list somewhere of our current positions that were created this year that were moved over to a grant-funded position, so we know which ones have to be budgeted for within our operating budget?
Yeah, I knew that, yeah.
And just as an aside, Kyle, do we, cover it under other as opposed to 5 areas? Just to where we're at right now as far as vacancies.
Yeah, I think it's 55, just thereabouts. Yep.
And still running primarily paras and special ed, primarily? Any other discussion under 5-year? That's our top item to discuss in 5 years is future staffing needs. We do have, Mr. Foley, I'm going to refer to you, but is it worth discussing items 2 and 3 that we have? as
It's
far
up to you, I mean,
staff
I think
retention?
doing a little bit every time is probably your focus right now.
Okay, and I mean, we did this, and the only thing, and again, kudos to our HR director for keeping it going. Keep going. We're not the only district in the state or within the country that's short, but, you know, staff retentions, any thoughts and whatever, keep them when you're hired. Have we got any interns in yet? Have they started?
Yep, 4 of them.
We've got 4 in.
Yep.
They're working out so far,
Great.
so great.
Yep.
Excellent. Great program. Great opportunity to take the hold of, so. Any other discussion, 5-year? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to item 7, public comment. Nobody here? Okay, I'm not gonna read it. Sorry, Matt, you're up. Don't have to read it. Item 8, other. Anything under other, anyone would like to discuss personnel-wise under other? Seeing none, item 9, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned.